Hello all, welcome back to Time to Dice Character Creation, where you make your favorite fictional characters in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Today, we're shelling out mayhem by making King Bowser the Lord of the Koopas. Bowser is the big bad of just about every game in the Mario franchise, and about as evil as they come. From kidnapping princesses to transforming the entire kingdom into bricks, Bowser is pretty much the poster child for cartoonishly mustache-twirling villainy. So beware of spoilers. Without further ado, let's get started. So what do we need to make King Koopa? Well, first, we need some serious turtle power. Bowser is the biggest and baddest character in the Marioverse, with the strength to smash through walls and the durability to survive just about anything. Well, except for the trapdoors that we for some reason keep installing in our lair. Next, we'll need the ability to hurl fireballs to incinerate our foes and clear the battlefield. And of course, it's not really dragon breath if it doesn't come from our mouth. Finally, if the heroes somehow manage to overpower us, we need to break out the secret weapon, growing to roughly the size of our castle and stomping enemies beneath our colossal feet. For our ancestry, we had a bit of a snag. Bowser is a Koopa, which is basically a big turtle dragon thing. We can get the dragon half of that from the Dragon Blood Universal Heritage, but we still need a base ancestry. And unfortunately, even with all the options Pathfinder has over D&D, there's still no turtle equivalent. We'd usually just use Awakened Animal for our ancestry, but Bowser isn't exactly known for running, flying, swimming, or climbing, so none of the options really fit. The next best thing Pathfinder offers is the Lizard Folk ancestry. It fits Bowser's scaly exterior, but comes with the aquatic adaptation feature, which doesn't really match his lava-dwelling lifestyle. So instead, we're heading over to the Starfinder side of the spectrum and using the Vesk ancestry. Vesks bring all the scaly, lizard-like vibes that we want, without the unnecessary swimming lessons. Plus, they've got a knack for warfare that suits our King Koopa perfectly. As a Vesk, we start with 10 hit points, a medium size, and attribute boost to Strength, Con, and Charisma, with a drawback to Wisdom. Our speed is only 20 feet, but that's fine for a heavy hitter like Bowser. We also gain low light vision, ideal for navigating a lava-lit castle, and finally, we get the Dragon Blood Heritage, which lets us critically succeed on saving throws against fear that we would normally just succeed. Fitting for someone who usually is the one doing the scaring. For our background, we'll pick up Towden Schemer, so we always have an evil plan ready to go. This background gives us a boost to strength and constitution, as well as training in politics, because the last thing Bowser wants to do is accidentally start a diplomatic incident. We also gain the Hobnobber skill feat, allowing us to gather information in half the usual time. Once we reach master proficiency in diplomacy, our critical failures also become regular failures instead. This doesn't guarantee that the rumors we collect are true, but it does prevent us from getting blatantly false information. A big, scary turtle monster with a habit of locking into a fight so hard he doesn't realize he's causing his own loss? That sounds like a textbook barbarian to me. As a barbarian, we get a whopping 12 plus our constitution hit points per level for maximum durability. We also gain expert proficiency in perception, which, frankly, feels a bit generous for someone who regularly forgets he's standing on a trapdoor. We're expert in fortitude and will saves, making us an excellent tank, and only trained in reflex saves, which, while unfortunate, makes sense. Any Smash Bros. Player will tell you Bowser's size leaves him wide open to punishment more often than it helps him. Like all barbarians, we're trained in athletics, perfect for grabbing enemies and body slamming them off the stage. We also get intimidation because we're a massive fire-breathing dragon, piloting for driving around our airship or clown car, performance because when you're played by Jack Black, you automatically get training in musical arts, and thievery for, well, kidnapping princesses. We get training in all simple and martial weapons, in case you feel like using Mario's own hammer against him. And we can wear up to medium armor, which I highly recommend. We won't be stacking much into dexterity this build. Speaking of dexterity, let's go into attributes, shall we? Strength is at a +4. Donkey Kong isn't the only Mario villain who can punch moons at someone. Dexterity sits at a +0. Like I said before, a breastplate really wouldn't hurt. Constitution is at a +3. We can definitely take a hit. Intelligence is a +1. Someone's got to keep those Mecha Koopas in working order, and I'm assuming that's you. Wisdom clocks in at a -1. Bowser still can't figure out why the girl that he keeps kidnapping won't return his feelings. And finally, Charisma comes in at a +2. You're a fearsome foe, a powerful leader, and, all things considered, a pretty decent dad. That brings us to level 1, where all barbarians must choose an instinct. One might assume we'd go with the Dragon Instinct, but since we're already getting all the draconic flavors that we need from the Dragon Blood Heritage, we're actually going to go with the Giant Instinct instead. After all, nearly every Bowser boss fight features a phase where he grows larger than life. This instinct allows us to wield weapons sized for larger creatures and boost their damage while doing so, at the cost of becoming clumsy one. Unfortunately, Bowser doesn't tend to use weapons, and this ability doesn't apply to unarmed attacks, so we'll treat it like a trump card, something to pull out when the heroes think they've won. We also gain the Rage feature. increasing our damage by 2 with all non-agile attacks, and grants us temporary hit points, though we can't use actions that have the concentrate trait while raging. On top of that, the quick tempered feature lets us enter a rage as a free action whenever we roll initiative, rather than having to waste our precious action economy on it. For our level 1 class feat, we pick up Raging Intimidation, which adds the rage trait to our attempts to demoralize foes and scare them to death, enabling us to use both of these abilities even while raging. It also gives us the Intimidating Glare skill feat and the Scare to Death skill feat for free once we meet their prerequisites. So by the end of this build, we'll be able to turn Koopas into dry bones with just a well-timed glare. Finally, the Draconic Aspect Ancestry feat gives us an unarmed Jaws attack that deals 1d6 piercing damage and has the Forceful trait. Even better, it lacks the Agile trait, so we can add our full rage bonus with each strike we make with it. At level 2, we pick up Moment of Clarity, letting us spend an action to ignore the Concentrate trait on our next action. We don't have any specific abilities with the Concentrate trait just yet, but by the time we do, we won't want to waste a high level feat slot on a level 1 option, so we're picking it up now to future-proof the build. For something that you can use right now, we'll pick up Group Coercion. This skill feat allows us to intimidate up to 5 creatures at once with a single check, and as our intimidation proficiency improves, that number scales to 10, then 25, and eventually a whopping 50 targets with just one terrifying roll once we reach legendary proficiency. This is the perfect way to remind everyone that between you and the Italian plumber in a catsuit, you're the real threat. At 3rd level, Barbarians get Furious Footfalls, increasing our speed by 5 feet or 10 feet while raging. For most characters, this helps us get ahead of the curve, but for Bowser, we need this just to keep pace with our competition. And if your competition decides to catch a ride from a green dinosaur thing, you might just want to wait until they come to you, because you're not winning that race. We also get Toughness, increasing our maximum hit points by our level, and reducing the DC in any recovery checks we make by 1, making you the one enemy Mario won't want to jump on. Speaking of jumping, at level 4, we get the Powerful Leap skill feat, increasing the horizontal distance that we cover when making any high or long jump by 5 feet. This lets us long jump up to 25 feet. Pretty impressive. Almost good enough for the Olympics. And if you are aiming for the Olympics, you might want to grab the Raging Athlete feat, giving us a climb speed and a swim speed while we're raging, plus boosting our jump distances even further. 5th level Barbarians unlock the Brutality feature, increasing our strike proficiency to Expert and letting us apply our weapon's critical specialization effects while we are raging. That means if we score a critical hit with our fists or claw attacks, that opponent must make a Fortitude save or be slowed 1 on the next turn, giving them a taste of what it's like to be a turtle in a game all about running and jumping. Level 5 also grants us the Breath of the Dragon Ancestry feat, letting us unleash the fire damage in a 15-foot cone. The main advantage of this over a spell like Breathe Fire is that as long as we can wait 1d4 rounds of cooldown between use, it's an unlimited resource, and it scales based off of our level, instead of consuming higher level spell slots. At level 6, we gain Giant Stature, allowing us to use a single action to grow large and in charge. While we are in charge, we get an extra 5 feet of reach on all of our attacks, but being twice our usual size isn't all great. It does make it harder to dodge enemy attacks, giving us the Clumsy 1 condition for as long as we're enlarged, for a -1 status penalty on all of our dexterity-based abilities like AC and reflex saves. We also get Quick Coercion, which lets us coerce a target in 1 round instead of 1 minute, basically lighting a fire under them. Literally. 7th level Barbarians unlock their Instinct specialization. Unfortunately, this only applies to attacks with oversized weapons, but luckily, there's nothing actually stopping you from picking up such a weapon. Although you're usually using unarmed attacks, Bowser's no stranger to using a ball and chain or a suit hat that sprouts boxing gloves at a moment's notice. But if you really want to stick to just unarmed attacks, well, it's a good thing we get Weapon Specialization, giving us a damage boost on all of our attacks, plus the Juggernaut feature, increasing our Fortitude saves to Master, while increasing all successful Fortitude saves we make to critical successes. Did you know that lava releases a lot of toxic volcanic gases? So if you had, say, a moat of lava around your castle, you'd constantly need to be making Fortitude saves, or risk death by hydrogen sulfide poisoning. Luckily, you have the Die Hard feature, so even if you do make an unlucky nat 1 on one of these saves, you can hold on to dying 5 instead of dying 4, giving your minions plenty of time to get you to safety. That's why the castles are populated by dry bones who don't need to breathe. See, you get lots of quality lore on this channel, as long as you don't fact check any of it. At 8th level, we pick up the Mage's Dedication, giving us 2 cantrips from the Arcane spell list. Gouging Claw lets us spend 2 actions to make a particularly powerful claw attack that deals persistent bleed damage, and Ignition allows us to make a spell attack roll that deals fire damage at a range, or slightly stronger fire damage as a melee attack. Neither of these attacks benefit from a rage bonus, and if we're raging, we'd have to use an action to activate Moment of Clarity just to use them, meaning the spell would take our entire turn. So for now, let's put these spells on the back burner and instead focus on Terrifying Resistance, giving us a bonus to saves against creatures that we've demoralized in the last 24 hours. combining Bowser's two favorite things in the world, not taking damage and ruling with a reign of terror. At 9th level, Barbarians unlock Raging Resistance, giving us resistance to bludgeoning and fire damage equal to 3 plus our con modifier. With all the HP and damage resistance we have, is there any way we could be more indestructible? Well, the best defense is a good offense, which is why we're also picking up the formidable Breath Ancestry feat to upgrade the D4s from our Breath of the Dragon to D6s. Hotter fire means more enemies getting thoroughly singed in our wake. 10th level Barbarians can ground pound with the impressive landing class feat, letting us treat all falls as 10 feet shorter and create difficult terrain in a 5-foot emanation around where we land, and any enemies caught in the area take 5 bludgeoning damage and are off guard until the start of their next turn, leaving them open for a mighty combo attack. This level also gives us the Terrified Retreat skill feat, allowing us to send lower level enemies scurrying with a critical success on any demoralize attempt. Though, if we're being honest, there aren't many characters in the Marioverse who could claim to be on Bowser's level in the first place. Level 11 Barbarians can pick up the Numb to Death general feat, meaning the first time each day that we're healed from unconscious, we gain additional hit points equal to our level and don't increase our wounded value. And Mighty Rage not only increases our class DC to Expert, but also lets us double the rage bonus we add to our first strike on our first round of combat for a powerful opening maneuver. At level 12, we pick up Titan Stature, so whenever we use Giant Stature, we become huge rather than large, adding an additional 5 feet to our reach. Now, we can target things clear across the battlefield, which won't matter much if you insist on wrecking your own battlefield by charging in directly at your targets anyways. And the Too Angry to Die skill feat allows us to come back with dry bones after being knocked unconscious, letting us demoralize an opponent as a reaction as we stand up. The Majestic Presence feat at level 13 lets us elevate our scaring game by using one action to force all creatures within 30 feet to make a will save or become frightened. Bowser definitely knows how to clear a room. This level also gives us several proficiency boosts, medium armor expertise, weapon mastery, and the Greater Juggernaut feature, which not only raises our fortitude proficiency legendary, but also turns any critical failures into failures, and halves the damage that we take from those failed fortitude saves. If you're wondering why we took those cantrips a while ago and seemingly forgot about them immediately, well, wonder no more, because at level 14, we pick up the Spell Striker feat, allowing us to combine our otherwise outclassed cantrips with our powerful Jaw and Claw attacks. Now, once per minute, we can make an attack roll that merges the benefits of our Barbarian strikes with our spellcasting for a fiery Breath and Bite combo or a particularly lethal Claw strike. We also get the Battle Cry skill feat to demoralize a foe as they rush in on our initiative, or in a few levels as a reaction whenever we critically strike a foe. This won't do much now as we're already using our initiative roll as a trigger for Quick Tempered to go into a rage, but seeing how striking is the main thing Bowser does, getting a free demoralize attempt to open up the possibility for more crits is always a good thing. At level 15, we get Cloud Jump, tripling our long jump distance and boosting our high jumps to our previous long jump. Feel free to use this to ground pound as much as you would like, for a consistent way to deal damage to a creature and knock them off guard with impressive landing. Level 15 Barbarians also gain greater weapon specialization, increasing our damage with all attacks, and Indomitable Will, which raises our will saves to master and treats all successful will saves as critical successes. At level 16, we start plowing through walls like they're made of tissue paper with the Shattering Blows class feat, letting us ignore the first 5 points of any object's hardness. Just try not to destroy the floor beneath you again. That gets expensive to repair. We also pick up Intimidating Prowess, using our massive strength score to add a nice boost to our demoralize attempts, as long as we physically menace the foe, which I don't think should be a problem. At level 17, we go full Giga Bowser with the Form of the Dragon Ancestry feat, allowing us to take a powerful battle form mid-combat that increases our size, AC, and breath weapon, and technically gives us a fly speed, but we don't talk about that part. We also get Massive Perception, which we desperately need, and Revitalizing Rage, letting us gain temporary hit points from Rage every time we enter it, rather than just once per minute. Incredible defenses, incredible offenses, and a way to pseudo-heal? Who knew Bowser had so much going for him? Towering Transformation at level 18 lets us use a reaction whenever we enter Giant Stature to force each enemy smaller than us within 30 feet to make a will save, and if they fail, they become frightened. And on our critical failure, we even get to push them away right into our lava moat. Man, more people should have a lava moat. Stupid HOA regulations. We cap off this level with the Dirty Trick skill feat, which lets us make a foe clumsy one with a thievery check for a round. Whether it be baseball, tennis, soccer, or a friendly go-kart race, Bowser isn't keen on playing fair. At level 19, Barbarians gain the Devastator feature, letting us punch through even the toughest of foes like Metal Mario by ignoring the first 10 points of physical resistance. This also boosts our Shattering Blows class feat that we took earlier to ignore 10 points of hardness, meaning we could smash, punch, or pierce just about anything. On top of that, Armor Mastery improves our defenses, while Quick Jump cuts the action cost of high and long jumps in half, perfect for keeping Bowser mobile despite his size. And finally, we cap off this field with Quaking Stomp, upgrading our ground pound to its highest level. This lets us turn a massive 60-foot burst of land into difficult terrain, opening up fissures in the ground and even collapsing structures around us. To top it off, Lasting Coercion lets us frighten foes into submission for up to a month, because when King Koopa shows up, the whole battlefield knows to bow down. And that's King Koopa, a towering force of destruction and fiery fury who crushes foes beneath his massive feet and scorches the battlefield with a single breath. Whether you're smashing heroes or defending your castle, this build brings all the power, toughness, and fear you need to rule the game. Now, go stomp some plumbers and remind everyone why Bowser is the ultimate boss. If you like this video, make sure to let us know by hitting the like button and maybe dropping a comment. And if you want to see more, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more videos every week. But until next time, keep rolling high, and we'll catch you in the next one.